It is March 19th, 2015, and thank goodness I did not end up in a mental ward today. So I'm thankful for that. But I wanted to be pro se because there wasn't enough time. I think that I could have done a better job than my attorneys in that moment, as long as they were advising me on certain rules, regulations. I wouldn't have said what they wanted me to say, so I think that's why they don't want me to be pro se. It's not that I can't defend myself. It's that they don't like how I would defend myself. The real problem is that they are all working for the government. They don't like my strategy. Even if my strategy worked, my strategy would make them look like they're wrong and be, I guess, bad for the government. The only real mistake that I think I made today was in the only mistake I made was that in my closing argument, or my closing statement I should say, because I wasn't allowed to proceed through the whole thing, and judge decided to appoint a guardian ad litem to decide court matters for me, which I don't need and I don't want, because I understand the proceedings just fine. And the real issue is that there's a difference in how they want me to proceed. They don't want me to talk about cloning and introduce human cloning as a fact. They want to say that they'd rather have me lie or have an attorney say she doesn't have any issues, even if she has false memories, and not bring up such ideas. So even though I think that I could have said things maybe slightly differently, or worded them differently, or not talked quite as much, really. Because I think the more I talked, the worse it got in one aspect, and that's just on testifying for myself about what I think with regard to human cloning, and how I realized with repressed memory that I have had 3 baby girls, not total, not just 2, which is what I said in the last hearing. So I can understand how that would give someone cause to think that maybe my memories are not accurate, but having a repressed memory isn't doesn't make someone incompetent. It just means, if I ended up going to the next hearing and I said, oh, I actually had 7 kids, that is maybe a problem. But having someone forget something and who has already stated they've been under a lot of trauma, I don't think that that's really unusual. Anyway, the mistake I feel I made is that I made the government's case. In my closing statements, I was talking about how this country has started warfare using clones, and they started that by the 1930s they were talking about it, and by the 1940s, by World War II, it was a fact. And other countries were creating human clones, and this country wanted to keep up with it, and they have been doing that. And I think that as I talked on about how I didn't support it and I wanted to raise my own kid, while I was talking to support myself, I was sitting there justifying why the United States government has human clones. My argument ended up being the United States needs clones, uses clones because they feel it's important, because other countries have armies of clones, Like, great, I just made everybody scared of other countries, so now we all need clones in the U.S., human clones. So that was dumb. And then my whole thing was that just don't use my kids. Let me raise my babies. And I think they just look at me and think, why shouldn't we use your kids? We can get your kids. And we got them in the past, and we're going to keep getting them. And yeah, you are a great person, Cameo. You've done pretty well for yourself. You just don't have any money to show for it. But at least the country does. So we'd like to have a few more of you kinds of clones. Kinds of clowns. Anyway, I said that I wasn't changing my hair color, so I kind of look like the Joker or something. I don't know. But I'm not going to change it back. I did leave that, show you. I left that section in the book. just on the off chance someone wanted to accuse me of doing drugs. I think everybody knows that I don't do drugs. I don't think that they would try to accuse me of that. I just actually started thinking, why don't I just color all my hair? Because, you know, really, if you color your hair, can't you still get tested and see if you have drugs in your system in your hair or not? I mean, I'm not sure if you can or not, but I think it's easier to tell if you haven't dyed your hair, but I think they can still find things if you have dyed your hair. And kind of leaving that little strip is almost like saying, hey, I'm waiting for you guys. You know, you guys have a UA or services that I can comply with, because I left a section here just for you guys. You know, so in a way, I'm almost submitting to them already by leaving the stripe of my own natural color in my hair. And I think what would almost be more of a statement for me of permanence, or some sort of statement. I mean, aside from the fact that I was saying coloring my hair is like making a tattoo, which was my argument in the second hearing. Like everything I said this hearing in my closing statement was almost the same thing as I said last time. I even brought up the tattoo thing. But my hair color was temporary then, and it did wash out, and then I wasn't able to remember things. But anyway, I can't go through that again. I'm not going to go through that again. And it's almost like leaving this stripe hair color that is my own here, like on the off chance that they want to do something, or that I'm going to agree to let them. It's almost defeatist. Like saying, I am trapped, and I'm giving them, you know, I have a harness on my head, and I'm giving them the rein here. And I don't want to give them the rein. So they're going to take my baby. Because that's what they've always done. And if I agree to do one single thing in their process, I will end up forgetting everything again. Because they use drugs and all kinds of horrible things. And although it maybe wasn't quite as bad the second time as it was maybe the first time, I actually can't say that for sure, because I just know I ended up someplace, you know. I ended up in a nut house again, where they were torturing me, drugging me, and that kind of thing. And that's what a big reason why I forgot. And I was getting raped. You know, no one's going to come out and start gang raping me now. But I'm not so cute. I'm not so cute anymore. But I think that there is still danger for me, because this country has enjoyed so much. They've enjoyed using their tactics and techniques against me. It's like they like to see how many times they can do it, just like they've raped me how many times. And then they wait several years and see if they can get away with raping me more, and still using the same triggers. And I'm not going to let them do that. And I need some serious international help, and I don't know how I'm going to get it, because there are a lot of countries that are doing the same kind of thing. So, and some other countries that say that they're against human cloning, I don't know why they are saying they're against human cloning. That's just a cover, because they're not against human cloning. It's almost like they're saying they're against human cloning because they really are into human cloning. I mean, maybe that's a strategy for them, you know, to say in all these humanitarian places we are against human cloning, but then like secretly they are really doing some interesting things, you know. But I've looked up some lists and everything, because I'd like to be in a place that doesn't agree with it. But anyway, as I was saying, I unfortunately made the government's case today. And I did it by talking about these armies of clones and how accessible and resourceful and whatever. And who wouldn't want a clone? Who would want a twin? Totally shot myself in the foot. Then here's Matt Tracy saying, I was trying to say, good job. You know, you were very articulate and good job. Yeah, I was very articulate, and I just made a case for the government, and he knows it. And that's what he said last time, too. Good job justifying everything that we're doing and helping us to feel good and important about stealing your kid. And, you know, but why is it my babies? You know, they let me work as a nanny for all of these other babies, but never my own. And really can't have that. I want all of my babies, you know, if I could have whatever I wanted. I'd go to a different country to let me live normally. And then I'd tell all my children, please come home to me. And get out of the United States. And then I'd have more babies. I'd keep them all. Because I like having my babies, and I like having kids, and all of the work that I did as a nanny wasn't just so other government people could have good care for their kids. It's because I wanted to be a good mother. And why should this country deprive me of my God-given rights? And this country thinks that they are God. So I need to be in a country that doesn't agree.